Liverpool versus Real Madrid. This is absolutely massive. I'm going to give a huge prediction at the end of the video and a combined 11. But you have to say the most successful club from England in Europe versus the most successful European club of all time, Real Madrid. What a classic game. And Liverpool last season did a massive job over Carlo Ancelotti's Real Madrid. Completely bullied them at points with Alexis McAllister scoring a great goal. I remember Conor Bradley was superb in the game as well. Mohamed Salah. It feels a little bit of a distant memory, that Liverpool side that went into games with so much intensity and running off the ball and then calmness on the ball. Now, obviously, they've been found out in big games this season, particularly against Galatasaray in the Champions League, Crystal Palace in the League Cup. But you have to say, against Aston Villa, I actually thought they found a lot more intensity in the game. That is what this Liverpool side needed, as well as Wirtz having a better start to his life in England. The likes of Isaac, Ekitike, all these new signings, Frimpong. Actually, it needed a bit more running, a bit more intensity, a bit of a higher press, something that Nunes and Diaz offered so much to Liverpool last season, including Conor Bradley, by the way. I look at this Liverpool side, I think they've got a far better chance because of that win against Aston Villa. It gives them a lot of confidence at home, and it's going to be such an interesting game to see where both sides are. Real Madrid rock up after smashing Valencia 4-0. That Carreras at left back looks scary, scary good. He scored an outrageous goal from a ridiculous angle. It was Roberto Carlos-esque. I think it's going to be a tricky game for both sides on some level. I think Liverpool can cause a lot of issues for Real Madrid. I think Ryan Gravenberch is the main person. He gives you that extra 5-10 yards of space, pushes you up the pitch with quality on the ball. Was very, very good against Aston Villa. Looked like a man playing against boys in that midfield at points. I think he's just so silky, and his quality on the ball gives him so much time to just dictate things. Without Gravenberch, dare I say it, I think he's the most important player for Liverpool. I even think you could just shove Frimpong right wing versus Salah on current form. Right? I know Salah scored, it's a bit of a tap-in. I actually think you could do that more than drop Gravenberch. I think Gravenberch is arguably more important than even the back line. I think you could hobble together a back five and just give Gravenberch the ball. I think he'd be more important to Liverpool than maybe anyone else right now for Arne Slot. So important he plays in the game. I like the midfield for Liverpool. Again, it always has to go back to being hard-working, high-pressing, a bit more humble than maybe shoving Ekitike or Wirtz number 10. Gravenberch, McAllister, Szoboszlai, that will cause a lot of issues for Real Madrid if they run the Liverpool midfield, if Real Madrid try and knock the ball around. And you have to say Real Madrid really struggled with the pace of Anfield last season, and that's where Liverpool could certainly have a go. That being said, Real Madrid in recent weeks, when I've seen Real Madrid, they look far more confident on the ball. They obviously absolutely smashed Barcelona, one of the best ball-playing sides in European football, a side that obviously love possession. Real Madrid's quality of possession was so good in the game. And someone like Jude Bellingham, Tchouaméni arriving at Anfield with unbelievable form. And I do think that the right-back situation in the game is very, very interesting. Obviously, Carvajal out right now. Trent getting big questions from journalists. Will you celebrate if you score against Liverpool? That being said, I don't think he starts the game. I don't think he even plays necessarily, because Valverde might also be a better right-back option anyway. But Trent's got a slight niggle as well in recent weeks. Hasn't played, didn't feature against Valencia. So Valverde at right back still a world-class option and very, very important for Real Madrid. Liverpool versus Real Madrid last season was big because the fullbacks had a really, really great couple of performances, even against Xabi Alonso's Bayer Leverkusen, who they absolutely smashed. Bradley, it was obviously Robertson at left back, who had a great game as well. And it's interesting that a year on, with Kerkez coming in and Frimpong, that I still have to say that Conor Bradley at right back and Andy Robertson at left back makes the most sense for me if I was Arne Slot right now. A bit of stability. I thought Andy Robertson was great on the weekend. You're going to have to be very, very careful in terms of rotating these guys, because Andy Robertson is getting a little bit on, and it might even be his final season for Liverpool. You have to be very, very careful with that, because you can't really rely on someone at that age to put in 10 out of 10s against Real Madrid, then Manchester City on the week as well. Arne Slot will have to be very, very careful. Maybe we saw a bit of that when he dropped everyone for the League Cup game against Crystal Palace. Maybe he was preempting that he's going to have to rely on a smaller nucleus of a side throughout the next few weeks to kind of stop the rot in terms of the bad form for Liverpool. And that's very, very interesting that maybe Arne Slot is going back to more of a smaller, closer-knit group, and he gives Isaac, he gives Ekitike, he gives the likes of Kerkez opportunities in smaller windows, Frimpong as well when he's back. So that's very, very interesting. Xabi Alonso, Liverpool legend, Champions League winner, one of the great midfielders I ever saw when I was growing up playing for Liverpool. That Gerard Mascherano midfield, that's a world-class midfield. I can't believe Liverpool never really won major titles consistently with that midfield. Obviously, that Liverpool side struggled maybe in different areas to get world-class talent. But what a player for Liverpool. A Liverpool legend, Bayern legend, Spain legend, Real Madrid legend. Xabi Alonso rocks up with the biggest club in world football, arguably a modern great of the game and one of the best midfielders in the history of the sport. That's why I love football so much. Kylian Mbappe rocks up maybe being the best player in the world right now as well. So many narratives in this game. I love it. Kylian Mbappe in 17 games, 21 goals, 4 assists, and only 7 of those are penalties. Is he better than Harry Kane? Is he better than Erling Haaland? I think he's behind Erling Haaland, and I think he might be ahead of Harry Kane. It's a really, really tight race. We've got a 3-horse race for who are the best players in the world. Whatever we say about the Ballon d'Or next season, I don't care if France win the World Cup or not, or England or Bayern win the Champions League. If it isn't 1, 2, 3, Haaland, Kane, Mbappe, in whatever order you want, then something's getting robbed. These 3 are the best footballers in the world, and Mbappe, I think he's operating at such a high level every time I see him. I've thrown together a combined 11. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Obviously, Courtois starts ahead of Mamardashvili. Valverde at right back. Again, this guy's absolutely superb. Stepping into midfield as well. Carvajal might even get in here ahead of, obviously, Conor Bradley if he was fit. I still put in Virgil van Dijk and Konate ahead of the likes of Militao, ahead of the likes of Dean Huijsen. Superb centre-backs. I'm glad Dean Huijsen in recent weeks looks like he's turned form around. I think he started for Real Madrid a little bit rough. And I'm a big fan of Huijsen. I think he's going to be a world-class centre-back, if not already is. But I think Konate and Van Dijk is still a better combination, in my honest opinion. Obviously, their defensive form has been a little bit hit and miss in recent weeks. I still think on their day, they're better than Real Madrid centre-backs. Carreras at left-back, I mean, he's obviously better than Andy Robertson right now, I'd say. Carreras looks absolutely unbelievable. Powerhouse. These big fullbacks, a bit like Calafiori, I know slightly different players, but Carreras at left-back, he's a man mountain with unbelievable grace on the ball as well. Tchouaméni is operating at a high level. People say Caicedo is the best defensive midfielder in the world. Maybe it's Tchouaméni alongside him or better than him. I think Tchouaméni was unbelievable when I watched El Clasico. Gravenberch alongside him makes a lot of sense as well. I'm glad to see Jude Bellingham as a selfish England fan getting back to good form. Looked very, very good against Barcelona. He starts for any side in the world. And if he's getting messed around by Thomas Tuchel in the next international break, in the March international break, I might not talk about football, man. I might leave the game because Jude Bellingham is one of the most important England players of a generation already because of that goal against Slovakia, the bicycle kick. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Salah on the right, I thought he did look a lot better against Aston Villa. Maybe it's one of those where you've got to be really ruthless. You've got to take him off after 60 minutes if he's put in a big performance. Don't play him to the 90th minute. Don't play him in less important games. Obviously, they're at the League Cup now, but when the Champions League becomes a little bit more diluted and Liverpool maybe have qualified, I think if you're on a slot, you completely take Salah out of the picture, completely rotate him out of the squad to keep him as fresh as possible. But against Real Madrid, he can hurt them. He's obviously starting ahead of the likes of Gula or whoever floats on the right-hand side. Rodrigo obviously on the bench a lot this season. Vinicius on the left makes a lot of sense. Still a world-class player, if not a bit of a crybaby on his day. And then Mbappe down the middle, who I think changes and would revolutionise any side in world football, in European football, and maybe for a lot of people, the best player in the world. I think Liverpool are going to win the game. I think they're going to win 2-1. I think it's going to be tight. I don't quite buy Real Madrid being top quality. I still think they're going to miss having a world-class centre-back. I think they've got a young back line that's still strong, but they're going to miss that. I think they're going to miss a world-class Kroos or Modric in that midfield to dictate things. I like Camavinga, I like Tchouaméni, I like Valverde, whoever plays in there, Gula. But I don't think they're world-class right now except for Tchouaméni. That dictating midfielder, the Toni Kroos of the world, I still think it's a young Real Madrid side. I think if Liverpool rock up with the intensity that I think they showed against Aston Villa, I think they'll get a lot of space, a lot of opportunities. I think someone like Gravenberch, Salah could easily pick up some goals, Ekitike as well. I think it's all about not starting Wirtz, not starting Isaac, Ekitike, Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, McAllister, Salah, and then obviously Gakpo off the left. It makes a lot of sense for me. Balanced, aggressive, and hard-working with a high press. I think Liverpool can get a result at Anfield and turn the season around going into Manchester City. I'll be talking about the game, Manchester City game, of course, on this channel, so make sure you subscribe if you watch this far. 2-1 to Liverpool is my prediction. I'll see you very, very soon.